Welcome to my channel, to everyone who's new here, and of course to those of you who are back again. Great to have you here. In this video we will take a look together at possible scenarios for Render, ONDO, SUI, HBAR, and also a small update to Bitcoin. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. And if you also want to trade with low fees, then I can recommend you the crypto exchange mexc, which has today a higher volume than Bitget, OKX, and Bybit. Usually it's similar to each other, but as you can see, the taker fees are far much less than on the other top crypto exchanges. 0.01% is nothing. And on top of that, you can get an additional 20% discount on those low taker fees if you use my referral link, which you can find in the video description. And also 100 pairs are tradable without any fees, just on mexc. And here you see some popular altcoins which you can trade without any fees. So before we start with Render, I want to talk about Bitcoin. So in the update we have said that this might be a bearish pennant, where we have here a symmetrical triangle. We have said if it breaks to the upside, then it would be positive, but we need to wait for the 94,862 US dollar breaking to the upside to be bullish, because then we would have a double bottom pattern. In the end of the day, we broke the pennant to the upside, the triangle, but we have formed a bear flag. So if the bear flag breaks to the downside, which is currently also the breakout point of the pennant, 93,675 US dollar, then Bitcoin is going to get bearish. And that also fits to the other altcoins, because if we look into Render, then we can say Render is short. Yeah, we have already found here a rising wedge, which broke to the downside. Yeah, we had two trend lines here, a red one, this is our short trend line, and the orange one, this is the rising wedge. We broke that cross to the downside. We retested it even once after the breakout. We got here the retest of the red trend line, and here we got the retest of the orange trend line. And now we need to wait for a follow through. And the follow through is going to happen, in my view, if we break the $4.28 to the downside, because I think this can just be a shoulder formatation, which then breaks to the downside, and we will work, at least in my view, one shoulder off. I have used the left shoulder because this is the smaller one. Yeah, we can also use the head, then we can even break to the downside far more. If we use the head, then we can even get down to $4.02. That's the target of that shoulder formatation. If I take just the shoulder, then I can say with a higher chance we will see the $4.10 for Render. But this is just the first down move and the first pushes to the downside. The big one, the rising wedge, the target is the $3.21 for Render. This is from now a 26% correction, and this is normal, it's okay. We have already seen this sell-off here, it's probably 10% or even 15%, yeah, 13.76%, so on top of that 25%, it is possible. After that, and I've said it in a few videos back, if we use the elite wave count, and I think the elite wave count is fitting perfectly to Render, then we can say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is the overall wave 1. And here you can see a smaller wave 1 with a wave 2. The wave 2 is just the correction into that box. I will show you why, because if we take the Fibonacci retracements, we put it to our low here, put it to our top, then you can see the 0.618 Fibonacci to 0.786 Fibonacci. This is an interesting area where the wave 2 should bounce. And after that, the wave 3 is coming, and wave 3 is usually the most impulsive one. Yeah, for Render it was wave 5. But in the end of the day, I think afterwards we will get a huge push. We have to see where wave 5 is going to go. And if we find the low of wave 2, then we can predict wave 3 far much more precise. So I can take this one out. So enough about the elite wave theory. $3.21 is the target of that rising wedge, but we also have support at $3.80 where the first take profit is, because there I expect a bounce. If we sell off sharp, here a bounce, and then we can track if we can jump into a trade far more higher and get another push to the downside, get some momentum. So $3.80, that area where we have the fair value gap, it's even down to $3.69. This is going to get interesting for a take profit. If we also break it to the downside, $3.57. If we also break it to the downside, $3.43. If we meet the $3.43, then I will be very carefully, because whenever we get a smaller bounce, it might be possible that we get a quick buy up and the correction is done in that area. It might be possible. We also have a huge fair value gap here from $3.23 to $3.02. It might get closed, but we have to see once we sell off. Yeah, it's still 25%, even up to 30% away from us. It's not a scenario where I want to talk about because I'm missing the data at the moment. But render looks short to me, with a high chance meeting at least the $3.80, and if we push more to the downside, then the purple box. So what about ONDO? I think we have predicted ONDO good. We have set here double top pattern, which showed here the first sign of weakness, but the retest failed. Instead, we filled the fair value gap. We had here a fair value gap. With this push to the upside, we have filled 100% of that fair value gap. And that fair value gap got used to push the price even more to the downside. What happened? We broke the 94.4 cents to the downside with a retest. Here was our short entry, and with a quick sell-off. In that sell-off, I have even taken profits because the sell-off was sharp and we have built up more fair value gaps. I used that fair value gaps where we also have the resistance area to increase my position size a bit more for ONDO to take the whole down move. The down move we have set this double top pattern, the target is the 84 cents. But here's the circle. This support area was our take profit for completely for ONDO, 85 cents to 86.6 cents. But still, what I think for ONDO is, I personally think that the other coins have so much potential to the downside. We will look into SUI, we will look into HBAR, and you will see it. Also, Bitcoin has some downside potential. I even think that this is just going to get us our first take profit. We might shoot a bit lower than that, get a bounce, and after that meet the fair value gap. But I will talk about that soon, because we had here a falling wedge which broke to the upside. Yeah, the retest wasn't perfect because we had many wicks lower than that, but the retest counts. And we got the push to the upside into our target of the falling wedge. So I can take this one out. If the 85 cents breaks to the downside, then I think 84 cents is going to get our target, because that's the target of that double top pattern, and the 82.2 cents are our next support. If the 82.2 cents breaks to the downside, then I think with a very high chance, look how big that fair value gap is. It is between 74.5 cents to 79.7 cents. I will put you here 2 price marks. If we break the 82.2 cents to the downside, then I think with a high chance we are going to meet the fair value gap for ONDO. I don't see anything bullish for ONDO. We have to wait for the 94 cents to say, okay, if that breaks to the upside, the orange trend line, then we can actually get another push to the upside before we then sell off. But we are so far away from the top here. Already 17.5% down. We have to do a push to the upside, which is currently 21%, or we are getting to the fair value gap, which is far more closer, 7.5%, 13% away. So I think we are going to go for the fair value gap for ONDO. So what about SUI? I think SUI is also short, because this here could be a shoulder formatation which already showed some weakness with that candle close lower than the red trend line, but we still held the support box. The target of the shoulder formatation is going to be the $3.01, which is this box below you, between $3.07 to $2.85. This is an area where I would say, okay, here we had at least some volume where we got support, resistance. We can't track a perfect trend line here in that case, because we just went here sidewards over several hours. But still in that box I'm expecting a bounce, at least a bounce, like we got, for example, here. We got to the support and we got a bounce. Yeah, in the end of the day we went a bit higher, but take this away. Also here we went lower than the box into a fair value gap. Yeah, this here was a fair value gap. We closed 50% of that fair value gap and we got a bounce. So I can expect that if we get into the area here, I can expect another bounce, and then we can see if we can track a nice trend line. The only one which I track here is the white one, but I can make it green for you. But for this I will take this one out. So this green trend line here is currently the best trend line which I can track. If we break it to the upside, then SUI is probably going for a new top. For sure, if we... This trend line just has 2 touch points. So if we get down into the box, get a bounce, maybe we find a trend line where we have 3 tops, and then we can say maybe it's a breakout, or maybe we go for lower prices, because lower than us are also many fair value gaps. So let me take out this and this. We also have a fair value gap down to $2.55 for SUI. I don't think that we are going to get there in the next 24 hours. So basically I will just talk about that tomorrow once we have more chart data. So what about HBAR? HBAR looks short to me. Short trade is ongoing at the moment, because we had here a shoulder formatation. We got here the first sign of weakness with this candle close lower than that. We even got the retest. Yeah, so it was short here already, but the follow through missed. So basically I went into a short trade already here with the stop loss over the green trend line, which is the round about 18 cents. Now we got another breakout with a follow through, means this candle here closed lower than our first breakout candle. Then we got a perfect retest this time and get rejected. And if the candle closes again lower than the breakout candle here and here, then it would be positive for a short trade but negative for a long trade. The target of that shoulder formatation, and I'm just taking the length of a shoulder. I'm not taking, I even took the left one, which is the less bearish one. I'm always taking the less bearish target. And this is going to be the 16.175 cents. But as you can see, the 16.07 cents is support, and also 15.4 cents. So let's take the most bearish scenario. This one here, let me make it orange. If we take it now to our breakout point, then you can already see 15 cents is the target of that shoulder formatation if we take the length of the head. I doubt it. Might be possible, yes, but we have to wait for the chart structure. So far we didn't get a bounce yet. we have said so far, okay, this trend line, if that breaks to the upside, it would be positive, and here are our target, 18.9 cents to 19.1 cents. We got perfectly into that area with this push here. So I can take those price marks out of the chart, this one too. I don't see any trend line breaking to the upside. We can try this one, for example. If it breaks to the upside, then we can expect a bounce, but it looks like that we are going to get something like this, and we are getting sharper sell-offs over the time. As you can see, the first one is smoother, the angle is smoother, the second one, the angle is sharper, and the third one is even far much more sharper. So it looks like that we are going to get this kind of price development for HBAR, probably into first 16.8 cents. Here I can expect a bounce where we can say, okay, maybe we get up again into that area, depending on how the chart is going to develop. Maybe we are going to get a fair value gap, and then we are just going to close the fair value gap, and after that sell off to the 16 cents. So this is my plan for all the altcoins. I have also 2 other videos up for Bitcoin and Ethereum, and also for the other altcoins, XRP, Dogecoin, Solana, Cardano. So far I'm in some of them in short positions, for some of them I'm waiting for a nice short position. So I hope that I gave you some valuable information with my chart analysis, and I hope that you understood my trading setups and understood my chart patterns. I hope that I can help you out with that kind of information, and see you tomorrow in the next videos.